बहुत जल्द पूरी दुनिया जानेगी।
Bounded by Myanmar, China and Bhutan on 3 sides and Assam on the south, Arunachal Pradesh is one of the 2 biodiversity hotspots in the country. Nestled in the eastern Himalayas, Arunachal, popularly known as Land of Rising Sun, is blessed with the largest forest coverage in India. With 80% territory under green coverage, the state is endowed with mind-boggling mega-diversity. With innumerable rivers and streams that crisscross the entire landscape, this unique topographical region has the wide-ranging vegetation at different elevations. With unparalleled biodiversity, the state is boasted of having 55% of floral wealth of the nation. The abundance of forest resources, particularly the wide range of non-timber forest produce, has prompted the state government to harness such resources in a sustainable manner. To meet the demand of research support, the government has set up the State Forest Research Institute at the capital town of Itanagar in 1993. Growing from strength to strength, the SFRI envisaged to carry out extensive study on biological diversity and maintain and evaluate the germplasm useful in forestry and allied economy. However, the prime objective is to transfer the knowledge from the lab to land.
Arunachal Pradesh is one of the important and largest states in the eastern Himalayas, having large number of biological diversity, both flora and fauna. You see, by way of, it takes time, of course, for implementation, but this particular biodiversity strategy action plan has shown the ways where from to get a sort of assistance for developing an infrastructure, various agencies, national and international agencies. Now, we have biodiversity. We would like to keep our biodiversity intact for the prosperity of the state as well as the neighboring states. Whatever the plant parts, for whether it is for medicine or aromatic substances or any other such thing, there must be sustainability. So, our institute advises on such kind of aspects and create awareness so that our people do not lose their, God-gifted nature.
The National Biodiversity Strategy and Action Plan has laid much emphasis on rejuvenation of traditional knowledge and wisdom and the community's easy accessibility to bioresources. The State Action Plan on Biodiversity has envisioned harnessing the huge potential of pharmaceutical sector due to the availability of various plants and herbs having high medicinal value. The medicinal plant nursery and garden is boast of having the collection and cultivation of over 150 species. It also prepared the distribution map of such plants discovered in various parts of the Himalayan state. The Forest Genetic Division of SFRI aims at improving productivity by genetic selection process, while emphasizing the need for development of modern genetic engineering in the state. The SFRI laboratory propagates the concept of clonal multiplication of floras. As a part of the genetic improvement program, the lab selected and maintained over 150 species of medicinal plants.
This is the seedling culture. We first use this media preparation. After that, we use for seedling culture. After this culture, forming a callus. After forming a callus, then these are the subcultures of the tissue culture, seedling cultures. After forming cultures, then after this one is a mature plantlet. So we use for transfer to the nursery for hardening.
Medicinal plants also we have taken up, and other forestry species which you can see here. So overall, our aim is to produce a uniform type of plants from a single tissue. Say for example, if we have cultured this one, from here we can get millions of plants, similar plants, which will have the same characteristic as that of the mother plant. And if any plant is diseased, then through tissue culture technology, we can eliminate the diseases and get healthy plants. This is second objective. Third objective is, supposing some plants do not produce seeds, and then tissue culture only is to be adopted. For tissue culture, we have to take any part of any growing tip of the plant species and take say 1 mm or even smaller than that tissues, inoculate them and get millions of plantlets in a short time. So by adopting this technology, it is possible to have large number of uniform healthy seedlings in a short time. This is what is the main objective of this laboratory.
The Regional Research Institute Ayurveda at Itanagar was established with the assistance of the central government to carry out survey, research and documentation of medicinal plants in Arunachal Pradesh.
Since inception, this institute is engaged in the survey of medicinal plants in this state. As a whole, almost all areas, all hidden pockets of the Arunachal Pradesh has been explored by the survey of medicinal plant unit of this. And we have documented the important medicinal plants which are useful in the system of Ayurveda. Side by side, we have documented about 200 folklore medicinal plants which are locally used by natives of this state in different tribal groups by using some specific drugs prepared by our own at the national level. Just under this program, we have taken Amwat, that is rheumatoid arthritis. For treatment of this, we use the medicine Pipli Vardhaman with Samir Panagras. Next group we have taken is the Sunthi Gugul. Second disease we have taken Madhumeh, under which the trial drugs like locally prepared trial drugs, that is jamun seed and Karela fruit. Next group is Tulsi Patra, Neem Patra, Bel Patra and Kali Mirch. These two groups are running parallel.
The institute has been successful in documenting more than 300 varieties of medicinal plants through extensive survey and research from different agroclimatic regions of the state.
This is Abroma augusta, and it is known as Pisas Karpas in Ayurveda. Its roots are very useful in uterine tonic. Generally, in case of the leukorrhea, we are utilizing these plants in our institutes in the form of the quath. Serpent Aventina Sharpagandha, and the root of this plant is very much important in Ayurvedic medicines, and this Sarpagandhadivati in Ayurveda, and which is useful in hypertension. Another one, we have a preparation of Bach Acorus calamus, that is the roots of the Acorus calamus, and another one is the Piporija kurwa, that is the kutki. And we have prepared our department, that is the Bacha Kutkyadi Yoga, and it is a hepatoimmunomodulator, and it is very much important medicines that which have been prepared by our department. Ayurveda, it is known as the Chakramark. In our institute, we are giving the whole plants in the form of decoctions in the case of the skin diseases like eczema and several other skin infections. This plant, and this is the powder form or this chune like this one.
It also prepares few Ayurvedic medicines for treatment of some common diseases from locally available medicinal plants. It runs an OPD unit which offers free treatment to people from various parts of the state who are seeking Ayurvedic treatment as an alternative to allopathy. The people in the state have been traditionally using herbal remedies before evolution of modern medicine and healthcare facilities. In recent times, attempts have been made to document and bring about optimum utilization of the existing medicinal plants in the vast tropical and alpine forests of Arunachal Pradesh. The Medicinal Plant Garden of the Regional Research Institute was established for experimental cultivation of more than 100 varieties of medicinal plants collected from different corners of the state. Although the efforts are still in its infant stage, the Institute has played a pioneering role in cultivating and preserving some endangered species of medicinal plants and also provides saplings to entrepreneurs for systematic commercial cultivation. The scientific and judicious harnessing of vast array of medicinal plants that dot the entire landscape of the Himalayan state can provide alternative means of earning and uplift rural economy.
Now we are in the nursery cum greenhouse of the Regional Research Institute Ayurveda, and we have Dr. Ramashankar with us here again. Doctor, can you please tell us about this particular variety of medicinal plant? What are its uses, and in terms of its value, in terms of the particular applicability of this plant on particular diseases?
This is the seedling of Cinnamomum camphora. Its Ayurvedic name is Karpur. Its use is for curing of diarrhea, and the leaf extract is used in preparation of Karpuras and Karpuraso.
What is the preparation process?
Preparation of distillation.
What are its uses, and what is the current status of this particular plant in the state?
This is Asparagus Rasimosus, whose Ayurvedic name is Shatavari. Shatavari is commonly, not common, but it is occurring in different parts of the country, from Fort Hilltop to high altitude too. We have collected some plants from Sergaon areas too. It is now in the position of threatened. Its use is in Ayurveda is for the aphrodisiactomy. This is Sarika Asoka. It is known in Ayurveda as Asok. Its formulation is Asoka wrist, Asoka cardial. Even Asoka quath is also used for gynecological disorder.
can you tell us about this particular medicinal plant? Where is it found in Arunachal Pradesh? What is its botanical name or local name? And what are its uses?
It is botanically known as Oryzanum indicum. In Ayurveda, it is known as Sionaka. And sometime in trade, it is known as Sona Chal. And it has very good importance because nowadays it is not plenty in the nature. You will get these plants very scattered in the nature, and therefore it has its own importance in cultivation also because it has trade potential. So in Arunachal, as far as it concerned, it is in the low bed plants. It is grow in the lower foothills area only. It is Tinospora cordifolia, and in Ayurveda it is known as Giloi. The planting stock is this stem. So if any farmer, any person want to cultivate it, this cutting we can multiply it from the cuttings. Suppose this is the nodes, and from here to here we may cut this plant, and we can make a plant, several plants from a single one. So it has easy for cultivation also.
Now we are in the rural household in Itanagar, and let us take a look at one of the medicinal plants very commonly used. इसको क्या कहा जाता है?
तपिंग यमिंग।
आप इसको किस प्रकार से बना के लगाते हैं?
जैसे इसमें ये होता है हाथ में, और जब भी लेके भी हाथ में रगड़ के गाँव में ये सब में ऐसे रस को इसमें गाँव में ऐसे लगा देते हैं।
The preparation of herbal medicine from plants is a quicker means of treating minor injuries and is a part of the age-old tribal wisdom. Several wild variety of vegetable plant form an important constituent of the tribal diet, believed to have medicinal effect.
इस सब्जी का नाम है पत्ता सब्जी। ये ब्लड प्रेशर, हाई प्रेशर और ये आँख के लिए भी अच्छा होता है।
In the early period, more than 100 species of wild plants were used by the tribal people of Arunachal Pradesh as it was consumed in the daily diet and as a part of the traditional system of medicine. The Government of India has set up the Regional Research Laboratory in the capital town of Itanagar in Arunachal Pradesh in 1980 to conduct research work and developmental activities of medicinal and aromatic plants.
This paid work for the establishment of branch laboratory at Itanagar, Arunachal Pradesh, was started during the end of 1980. We have started our activity at Itanagar in March 81. These medicinal plants, aromatic plants that is available in Arunachal Pradesh. In case of Arunachal's medicinal plant, there are about 500 different medicinal plants available in Arunachal Pradesh, so far documented. And out of this, there are a number of medicinal plants that are being traded. The most common example is I can say the Picroraja kurua, that is called kutki, in other words, then chireta, Swarsia chireta, then Jatamansi. These are all from high altitude. Now this different organization has taken up for large-scale cultivation of this Texas baccata and multiplication of Texas baccata. So in some area, quite a good number of planting material is now ready for Texas baccata. Arunachal Pradesh is a very agroclimatic zones. Any type of plants can be grown here. All the other concerned organizations in Itanagar, particularly this SFRI, RRL, then URI, Medical Plant Board, everybody is concerned about these things. So we have decided that we'll do something at how to get a sustainable benefit out of these plants available in Arunachal Pradesh.
The institute also provides technical consultancy service and training to tribal communities for scientific cultivation of medicinal plants to economically uplift the quality of life. With painstaking efforts, the RRL has maintained a germplasm bank for preservation of exotic and endangered variety of medicinal and aromatic plants from the wild forests of Arunachal Pradesh. A sustained effort is being made to domesticate medicinal plants, which still continues to exist in wild stage and faces the threat of extinction due to reckless commercial exploitation. The systematic and organized cultivation of endangered species of medicinal plants and creation of efficient marketing channels can boost the economy of this tribal state.
Si pura cetro na boiler kam ni da pura. Masuk boiler so ke jolai ba. Pura ngul dukhya ba jingam pura singul ka du pare so lagam na ye. Ate rongo mala ngul pura dam du pare. So mane ni komani do ma bam so ate rongo mala ngul so supply kolai na ye. Kejim tu to ka mala ji do.
With the motivation and technical support of the Regional Research Laboratory, RRL, the establishment of the Citronella Distillation Unit through a centrally sponsored scheme has offered a new source of livelihood for the rural poor. The byproducts after extraction of herbal oil from the distillation unit is subsequently used in vermicompost to produce organic manure.
Branch laboratory was established with the following objectives. Mainly, number one, to assess the scope of R&D activities in consultation with the state government functionaries. Then to establish appropriate testing and analytical facilities, particularly in civil engineering side. Then to undertake sponsored and consultancy projects for the benefit of the state. Then to establish a linkage between the academic institutions and to organize motivation course for the student of Arunachal Pradesh, particularly in science subjects, and to act a clearinghouse of CSI technologies, new innovative technologies that is being developed in other parts of our laboratories, other laboratories of CSIR, so that it can also be imparted in the state for the benefit of the society.
Scientific study, testing, and medicinal analysis is being made by research institutes to transfer the knowledge from the lab to the land. Besides documenting the locally existing medicinal plants, utmost priority is being given to motivate and create awareness amongst the tribal people of the state about the uses and importance of medicinal plants. In order to harness the wide-ranging varieties of medicinal and aromatic plants, numerous scientific experiments are being carried out in the research institutes in the state. Several high-yielding varieties of medicinal plants have also been developed for large-scale cultivation. The institute also imparts education and training on efficient and sustainable use of medicinal plants to NGOs, rural people, and students. The need of the hour is to search for providing alternative means of earning to the community to reduce their direct dependency on forests. The strategy and action plan must ensure sustained flow of forest resources to the community in the long run. Although the research works primarily evolves around community-based ecological study, the efforts of the research institutes is a part of the larger strategy and vision of the government to ensure sustainable development in this ecologically fragile state. The tribals of Arunachal have gradually realized the value and importance of medicinal plants in uplifting the rural economy through organized cultivation. At the same time, it raises questions of conservation and sustainable use of the forest resources with the onslaught of large-scale commercial exploitation. There is an urgent need to sensitize the people through education, motivation, and training for ecological security and judicious use of endangered species of medicinal plants for a sustainable future.
जला